If I have learned anything over the years as a content creator, it's that speed is important. Whenever I get a good idea, I have to act quickly on it, or I may overthink everything and end up just doing nothing. That's why I believe every creator needs to have this one space where they can start recording with very little setup time, but without compromising on quality. This right here is my version of that space, and I'd like to share it with you. In today's video you will learn about my camera, lighting and microphone setup and how everything works together. I will also show you a way more budget-friendly solution that provides the same benefits and convenience. Before we start, I need to clear some things up. First, this video isn't sponsored by anyone. Second, I've accumulated all of this gear over the years. You don't need to go out and buy everything I mentioned in this video. And third, actually nothing. I think we can start now. Part 1. The space. This is my quote-unquote YouTube studio. It's just a normal room in my apartment that's about 13 square meters or 140 square feet in size. It's divided in two sections. My editing desk, where I do all of my video editing, and my recording setup. Both setups actually used to be one, but I decided to separate them because when I'm editing, I prefer to have a clean desk, and when I'm recording like now, everything is all over the place. Part 2. Lighting. The heart of this setup is the lighting. I've put a lot of thought into it and decided that I wanted something clean that could be easily modified. All of my lights are from Aperture's Amaranth series. The reason is I can use them with Aperture's Cytoslink app, so I can change everything without ever moving from my desk. Here are the main components. The key light, a big light source that makes me, the subject, look good. The hair light. This light just makes me pop out and separates me from the background. The first background light, an LED light that can be programmed to any color. The second background light, a powerful light that can create different shapes and adds another layer to the overall image. Let's now break it down. I will explain every light in detail and also give you suggestions if you are on a budget. Key light. I use the Amaranth 100D by Aperture with a big softbox I got from Amazon. I've mounted it on my desk using a DIY solution I created with some materials I had laying around. As you can see, the softbox has a grid. This reduces the light spill and helps me shape the look of the image exactly how I want it. The golden rule here is the bigger the light source, the better. If you're on a budget, here's my suggestion. Get the Godox SL60 or the little Amaranth 60D. Those lights are less powerful, but trust me, most of the times I use my lights at less than 10% of the power. Get yourself a Bowens mount softbox from Amazon. There are many of them and they come in different shapes and sizes. This is how my key light looks with the Amaranth 60D and the much smaller Aperture Light-Dome Mini Mark II. Hair light. As I already said, the hair light is just here to separate me from the background. The light I use for this is 100% overkill. It's the Amaranth P60C. More on it later. I mounted it on my ceiling so that I don't have to set it up every time I want to film something. In reality, almost every light can be used as a hair light. I used to use this little Amaranth MC, basically the same light as the P60C, just smaller. And once again, you can go on Amazon and just buy any LED light of your choice. First, background light. I use another P60C as my first background light. I can change it to whatever color I like, and I often decide to use a color that complements what I'm wearing, like I did in my last video, for example. To achieve the cleanest results, I invested in a backdrop paper system. I used the gray paper since it allows me to recreate any color I want. Here again you can use the little Amaranth MC. It can do every color, but the output might be a little limiting. In the past I used a newer RGB light and it actually did an amazing job. Second, background light. To be honest, as you can see, you don't really need this light, especially if you are on a budget, but if you have the budget, it's actually my favorite light. I use an Amaranth 200D with a snoot. The model for the snoot is AL16 by Ambitful. Honestly, I don't know how to pronounce it. It comes with different shapes and just be honest, isn't this the best thing ever? In total, if you want to recreate my exact same lighting setup, it will run you about $2,000. But here you can see our more budget-friendly lighting setup. I'm using the Amaran 60D with my big softbox and two Amaran MCs. One as my hair light and the other as my background light. Using my phone, I can use the Link app and adjust anything I want. I'm also not using my backdrop paper, just the white wall in my room. This setup will cost you a total of about $400. So yep, much cheaper. With Link, I can also create presets, so the possibilities are once again endless. Need a green screen? One click. Ooh, it's getting cold, isn't it? Need a clean shot for your thumbnail? Just one click. So let's get back to our base. This was an exhausting section, but don't worry, the next one is much simpler. Part 3, audio. I value audio extremely because I think that's what sets apart a noob from a pro. If you want your videos to stand out from the rest, work on having the best audio you can. Since I'm such an audio nerd, I actually have a lot of options, but only 2 are relevant for this setup. My Shure SM7B, which you have been hearing throughout this video, and my trusty Schoeps CMC 641. Now I know this is an insanely expensive mic.
What?
But as I stated, I've been doing this for a while, and this is an investment I will use for the rest of my career. My forever mic, if you will. I use these 2 mics specifically because most of the time I don't want the mic showing up in my frame. And this one comes in handy when there's a construction outside, since it's perfect for just picking up the voice. It's also great for when I do Zoom calls or when I'm live streaming. When you use professional mics like this, you need other accessories to make them work. I use the Sony XLR K3M because it allows me to record the audio straight into my camera, so I don't have to sync the audio in post. Whenever I'm doing a voiceover, I use the little Rode AI1 audio interface. Those big black things you saw when I showed you my space are my sound panels. When I'm recording, I surround myself with them. I do this to cut the reverb in my room and therefore get a much drier and cleaner audio. I don't want to get too technical in this video, but if you want a follow-up video on audio, on microphones, on editing your voice, maybe, just let me know down in the comments. In total, my audio setup will run you about $3,500, but it's really not necessary to spend this much. If you're on a budget, here are the options. Maybe instead of getting an XLR microphone like my Schoeps, you can buy a Rode Video Micro. This is how it sounds, and it's connected directly to my camera. We have basically the same setup right here, just not as high end. We're also using our budget lighting, so with the little mic and the mic stand, the total for this setup is now at about $450. If you want something like the Shure SM7B, you can get a USB microphone. I started with a Blue Snowball, but I can also recommend the Blue Yeti. Those plug in directly to your computer and sound amazing. Part 4, camera. This is an interesting section in this video, and it's very much intentional that I left it for last, because the truth is, in my opinion, it does not matter. We as creators have been led to believe that the camera is the most important instrument when it comes to the quality of our videos. The truth, however, is that almost any camera can get the job done if you know what you're doing. But don't just take my word for it, let's walk that talk. This is the same setup, just using my little Sony CVE10, a camera I got for 450 euros. If you want to see my review, you can check it out in some corner right here. I'd say the image quality is about 80% as good. And you probably wouldn't even have noticed if I changed both cameras in the middle of the video. That being said, my camera of choice is the Sony a7C Mark II. It's my absolute favorite camera of all time. It can do almost everything one could ask for a camera while still being light and compact. If you're on a budget, just get the little CVE10 as mentioned, or just simply use a phone if you're starting out. Here's the final budget setup. We are using the Amaran 60D with the softbox, 2 Amaran MCs, one for the hair light and one for the background. We're using the Rode Video Micro, which is plugged in directly into our CVE 10. Yeah. If you decide to buy anything in this budget setup, I will leave links in the description. Those will be affiliate links from Amazon. So if you buy through them, I will get a little kickback, but without any additional cost for you. I've actually never done this, so I just wanted to try it out. To monitor myself, I use my iPad with the Monitor Plus app. It transforms my iPad into a fully flashed camera monitor with all the bells and whistles like false color, zebras, LUTs and many more. It also allows me to control the settings of my camera directly from my iPad, so I don't have to get up when I want to change something. So here we are at the We touched on a lot of topics in this video, so naturally I wasn't able to go quite in depth. I still hope you got an overview on everything you might need to consider if you want to have a space like this, and most of all I really hope I inspired you to create your own space. The mighty YouTube algorithm thinks you should watch this video next. Have a nice day and see you in the next one.